and corned beef to the European market from 1865, and the Anglo meat packing plant, which exported frozen meat from 1924. Here, German research and technology were combined with English enterprise to provide food for a global market, including the armies of World Wars I and II. Workers' housing and social institutions, which accommodated and supported the cosmopolitan worker community, continue in use today. In terms of the categories of cultural properties set out in Article 1 of the World Heritage Convention, this is a site. The industrial complex of Fray Bentos is located in Rio Negro Department, Uruguay, next to the Uruguay River. The nominated zone encompasses the industrial settlement, the port, the company town, and part of the surrounding rural areas. The proposed buffer zone encompasses rural areas surrounding the nominated zone, part of the town of Fray Bentos, and of the Uruguay River up to the boundary with Argentina. German scientists brought machines and tools from Scotland and developed meat processing technology at the Fray Bentos facility, as well as cattle farming research, which became a model for other parts of the world. Its natural harbor attracted first the Liebig Extract of Meat Company. This is an aerial view of the complex with a large cold storage building next to the river. The industrial complex is located adjacent to prime fertile land, conducive to cattle raising and agricultural production, where the primary products could be obtained. Key buildings illustrating the industrial process up to the time the factory closed down in 1979 include the machine room, meat extract department, slaughter yard, rendering room, cold storage, and tin work department. These buildings are connected by internal roads, conveyor lines, and aerial tunnels used by the workers and products, and still contain machinery that existed in 1979. The nominated property includes all elements related to the history of the site and the period of its operation. Some elements retain much of the original interior equipment, illustrating the production process and roles of facilities. The combination of location, industrial ensemble, housing and social institutions enables the whole process of meat production on a global scale to be understood, and that the site illustrates the technological, social and cultural factor extremely well. The property is authentic in terms of locations and setting, materials and substance, and use in terms of the buildings which form part of the Museum of the Industrial Revolution. However, this could be threatened by adaptation of some buildings for new uses. The last modernization took place in the 1910s, when the press filters were added and greatly accelerated the broad filtering process. Vacuum evaporators were also added. Power was provided in the boiler room by oil-fueled water tube steam generators, 4 dating from 1906 and 6 from 1922. Directly linked to technology, Fray Bentos became a fundamental place of testing, not only as a test bench for the application of the new technological paths connected to industrial activity, but also for the experimentation with new marketing and sale modalities that concern different world markets. This makes it possible to witness the deep bonds between the area and of land exploitation, the use of natural facilities, port, ravine, agricultural and livestock sectors. Today, Fray Bentos' cultural industrial landscape is one of the best examples in the world that helps to understand the final process of an economic and modern production modality. Other buildings have been adapted for new uses, and workers' housing has been upgraded to provide more modern accommodation for families now living there, many of whom have a connection with the property through family members who worked there. The location of the industrial facilities show at the same time not only functional but a visual relationship with the city of Fray Bentos. The manufacturing complex of Liebig Anglo with its residential area is an example of company town that had stood out over time. The residential area developed distinctive urban and architectural characteristics closely attached to the productive development processes, among them the golf cars. In the beginning, this company town was characterized by its isolation, since it was located in a rural area and several streams had to be crossed. Today, it has public space for all. ICOMOS considers the nominated property to satisfy the conditions of integrity and authenticity. The comparative analysis justifies consideration of the property to the World Heritage List. The property is nominated by the State Party on the basis of criteria 2, 4, and 5. ICOMOS considers that criteria 2 and 4 have been justified, while criterion 6, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. The property is nominated on the basis of criteria 2, 3, and 6. ICOMOS considers that criteria 2 and 4 have been justified, while criterion 6 has not been justified. ICOMOS also considers the boundaries and management of the nominated property are good and conservation and management adequate, but could be improved. ICOMOS recommends that Fray Bentos industrial landscape, Uruguay, be inscribed on the World Heritage List on the basis of criteria 2 and 4, and there are some additional recommendations. Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you very much, ICOMOS. The floor now belongs to committee members. The floor is open for your comments.